I learned Elena Hart's apartment the way you learn something that might save your life. Slow, careful, every detail mattered. The third step outside her door dipped slightly to the right. The hallway window did not latch all the way. The peephole had thin scratches around it, like someone had tested it with a key. The lock on her unit was solid, which meant if someone came for her, they would not bother picking it. They would kick. I set my duffel down like I belonged there. Like the roommate story fit me. That part was important. Acting like you belong keeps people calm. Elena opened the door wearing wool socks and an oversized sweatshirt. Her hair was loose, the ends still damp. She smiled, but it looked like a smile she had practiced and decided not to use. "Hudson," she said, like saying my name might make this normal. I gave her the safe version of me, flat voice, polite distance. "Elena," I said. She stepped aside and let me in. That was the first permission she gave me. I counted it. The apartment smelled like fresh paint and cheap coffee, mixed with something sweet that did not belong in a place with this many locks. Vanilla. Her shampoo. I noticed because I always noticed. Not for romance, for awareness. I saw her eyes follow mine as I studied the doorframe. "It sticks," she said quickly. "Sorry." "Landlord doesn't matter," I said. "I'll fix it." That made her blink. People do not expect strangers to offer help without a reason, and if there is a reason, it is usually not good. "There's a toolbox in the hall closet," she said. I moved past her without touching her. Space mattered. Space kept mistakes from happening. The apartment was small. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a narrow kitchen that felt like it had been designed for regret. My cover was simple. Newly separated. Friend of a friend. Needed a room. She needed help with rent. 2 problems pretending to fix each other. Marcus had insisted on the roommate angle. No uniform, no badge, no obvious protection. Just close enough to matter and quiet enough to disappear. Invisible was a lie, but it was the best one we had. She showed me the spare room. She stayed 2 steps ahead of me. Not fear, just habit. "Bathroom's down the hall," she said. "I have eyes," I replied. It came out sharper than I meant. Her smile tightened. I did not apologize. Apologies open doors you cannot always close. I dropped my duffel on the bed and checked the door. Chain, hinges, strike plate. The screws were short. Cheap. I replaced them with longer ones from my kit. The wood groaned, then held. Elena watched from the doorway. "This is weird," she said. "Yeah," I said. Her eyes dropped to my hands. My knuckles. The pale scar on my wrist. She looked at it longer than she should have. "That," she said. "What happened?" "DIY accident." She did not believe me. I saw it in the way her mouth moved. "You look like the kind of guy who fixes sinks," she said. "People surprise you," I replied. She filed the lie away, instead of pushing it. That told me more about her than questions ever could. When she left, I listened for her door to lock. It did. Twice. I unpacked the things that mattered. Not clothes, equipment. Tools that kept people alive. I hid them where no one looks. In plain sight. Then I checked the rest of the apartment, fixed the hallway window, sealed the draft under the door with an old towel. A small thing. The kind of thing a normal roommate would do. Also the kind of thing that buys you time. Later, I fixed the broken step outside while she showered. Not protection. Just a signal. Someone was paying attention now. When I came back, she was in the kitchen holding a mug. Her hair was pulled back. The vanilla scent was stronger. "You fixed it," she said. "It was going to break." "And the towel," she added. "I don't like drafts." She smiled into her coffee like she did not want me to see it. "What do you do, Hudson?" she asked. The truth rested on my tongue. I swallowed it. "Security," I said. "For who?" "For people who can afford it." She mostly accepted that. "I'm freezing," she said quietly. "Do you have an extra blanket?" It was a small request. Safe. Necessary. I handed her the thick gray blanket I brought with me. Heavy. Practical. She took it carefully, like it meant more than warmth. That night, I slept in my clothes. At dawn, I saw the gray sedan outside. Engine running. A man inside, watching the building. When Elena joined me by the window, wrapped in the blanket, she saw it too. "That guy's been there before," she said. I did not reassure her. I grabbed my keys. "You get a choice," I told her. "You can tell me to leave." She looked at the locks. The door. The towel. "I don't want to be alone in this," she said. I stepped into the hall, knowing that choice had already changed everything. I closed the door behind me and locked it slow, controlled. Not the kind of lock that says panic. The kind that says routine. Elena stood a few feet back, the gray blanket wrapped tight around her shoulders like armor she had not chosen but was learning to wear. I did not go straight to the street. You never do. I went up one floor first and looked down through the stairwell rails, checking reflections in the glass. Nothing moved. That did not mean nothing was there. Outside, the cold hit hard. The gray sedan still idled at the curb like it owned the space. I walked toward it like I was just another man heading to work. The driver did not look at his phone, did not eat, did not stretch. He was waiting. I stopped a car length away and pretended to scroll on my phone. Then I looked up and met his eyes. He smiled without warmth and lifted 2 fingers off the wheel in a lazy salute. A message. I did not wave back. I held his gaze until his smile thinned. Then I walked away. When I came back inside, Elena was still standing where I left her. She searched my face for answers before I spoke. "Not nothing," I said. Her throat moved. "What do we do?" I pressed the towel tighter under the door, sealing the draft like I could seal intent. "We do the next right thing," I said. "One at a time." She nodded, like she was memorizing how calm looked on someone else. The day passed in pieces. Small, normal things layered over quiet fear. She cut vegetables for soup. The knife tapped steady on the board. Her hands only shook when she thought I was not watching. "You cook?" she asked. "I eat." She snorted despite herself. That night, the lights flickered once. Just once. Not enough to scare someone who was not already paying attention. I checked the breaker panel. Everything looked fine. But the hallway smelled wrong, metal and cold. Like someone had been in a place they should not have been. The utility closet door gave when I pressed it. Inside, taped to the wall, was a small black box wired into the building's junction. Cheap. Not a bomb, just enough to cut lights and cameras at the wrong moment. Elena stood behind me before I could tell her to stay back. "What is that?" she whispered. "Nothing you need to touch." Why are you?" "Go inside," I said. "No. You can argue later," I said quietly. "Right now, you can live." Something in my voice made her listen. She backed away and locked her door. Twice. I removed the device and texted Marcus. His reply came fast. He was hours out. Funding was pulled. Contract void. Abort. The easy choice was to leave. I did not. "I stay," I texted back. That night, sleep did not come clean. Every sound mattered. Wood settling. Pipes knocking. A soft vibration of my phone. On day 4, she found the satellite phone. I came out of the shower and saw her standing in the hallway, holding it like it might bite. "Tell me," she said. "Put it down. Who are you?" I did not move closer. "Reaching looks like force. I'm your roommate." Her laugh was sharp. "Roommates don't carry these." "Do I get a choice?" she asked. "Yes. Always." She set the phone down. "Then stay," she said. But no more lies. The lie was already there, but she needed the promise to breathe. That night, a thin slip of paper slid under the door. 4 words. "We know your lie." Elena did not scream. She handed me a screwdriver instead. "Where would they put eyes?" she asked. "Smoke detector. Outlets." She held the flashlight steady while I removed a hidden camera. Her hands shook, but she did not lower the light. At 11:48 p.m., the hallway light outside our door went out. Then, metal touched metal, a lock being tested. I whispered her name. She set the blanket down slow, deliberate. She took the revolver with shaking hands and learned control in seconds. The door kicked in. The world narrowed to movement and math. Pain came hot and real. Glass shattered. Someone fell. Someone ran. When it ended, sirens filled the night. Elena stood in the doorway, breathing hard, eyes locked on me. Blood ran down my arm. "Don't pretend you're fine," she said. I did anyway. By dawn, the apartment was quiet again. The towel was back under the door. Control reclaimed. "You're leaving," she said. "Do I still get a choice?" "Yes." "Then, I choose to know." I nodded. And that choice changed what we were to each other. The apartment never felt the same after that night. Even with the broken window boarded up and the locks replaced, the air carried memory. Fear does that. It stays, even when the danger steps back. Elena moved differently now. Straighter, quieter, like someone who had learned where the floor creaks and where it does not. She asked fewer questions but watched more closely. When I checked doors, she noticed which hand I used. When I scanned windows, she learned where to stand without blocking my view. We were not pretending anymore. Marcus came once early morning. No sirens, no uniforms. He looked around like a man counting exits instead of furniture. "You're done," he told me when Elena stepped into the bedroom to pack a bag. "Am I?" I asked. "Funding's gone. You're on your own." I looked at the hallway where the light had gone out that night, at the towel under the door that Elena kept fixing without being asked. "Yeah," I said. "I know." Elena came out with 2 suitcases and the gray blanket folded tight. She did not look at Marcus. She looked at me. "You coming?" she asked. "Not yet." She nodded, like she had expected that answer even if she did not like it. The safe house was quiet. Too quiet. Different walls. Different locks. She walked through it once, then sat on the bed and hugged the blanket to her chest. "I don't like being hidden," she said. "I know." She looked up at me. "Then why am I here?" "Because knowing the truth doesn't stop bullets," I said. "Time does." She did not argue. She just nodded and pressed her lips together, like she was holding herself in place. The days stretched. I watched patterns close. Names surfaced. Threats dissolved one by one. It was slow work. Lonely work. We talked at night. Not about the danger. About small things. Music she liked. Places she wanted to see. The way cold made her bones ache. One night she said, "You never sleep all the way, do you?" "No." "Why?" "Because sleeping all the way means trusting the dark." She was quiet for a long moment. "I trust you," she said. That landed harder than any hit I had taken. When the last thread finally snapped, Marcus called. "It's done." "She's clear." I sat in my car and stared at the windshield long after the call ended. The job was over, which meant I had to decide who I was without it. I went to see her anyway. The coffee shop was warm and bright and wrong for a man like me. Too many windows. Too many reflections. I chose a corner seat and waited. When she walked in, the room shifted. No guards, no fear in her step, just her. She scanned once, then smiled when she saw me. She crossed the room without hesitation and set the gray blanket on the table between us. "I'm returning it," she said. "That's why you came?" "Part of it." She leaned in, close enough to matter. "You said I get a choice," she said. "Yes. I'm choosing to stop being cold." Her fingers wrapped around my wrist, right over the old scar. This time she did not pull away. "You don't get to disappear on me," she said. I swallowed. I'm not good at staying. Learn, she said. She stood and draped the blanket over my shoulders. Heavy, familiar. It smelled like her now. I was the one who asked for it, she said softly. I needed it. I looked at her, really looked. You're safe? I asked. I'm safer, she said, because I know what it costs. I nodded. And for the first time in a long time, staying felt like a choice I wanted to make. We sat there longer than we needed to. The coffee went cold. The shop filled and emptied around us, but neither of us rushed the moment. I kept the blanket around my shoulders like it had weight beyond fabric, like it was permission. Elena watched me the way people do when they are deciding something that scares them. Not desperate, not unsure, just honest. You never told me why you really stayed, she said. I looked down at my hands. The scars old and new. Proof of choices that never felt like choices at the time. At first I stayed because it was my job, I said. That was the easy truth. And now? Now I stayed because you asked for a blanket, I said. And I knew I didn't want to hand it to you and walk away. She smiled, but her eyes shined like she was holding back something heavy. You don't talk like other people, she said. Other people don't see what I've seen. She reached across the table again, slower this time, and rested her hand on mine. Not gripping, not testing, just there. I don't want to be protected forever, she said. I don't want to live scared. I don't want that for you either. But I also don't want to pretend nothing happened, she continued. That night changed me, changed us. I nodded. Some things don't go back. They only move forward differently. I can't promise normal, I said. I can't promise easy. She didn't pull her hand away. I'm not asking for promises, she said. I'm asking you to stay when it's quiet too. Not just when it's dangerous. That was harder than facing a door being kicked in. I took a breath, let it out slow. Okay, I said. I'll try. She smiled then. Not small, not careful, real. We walked out together. The cold air hit us, sharp and clean. She tucked her arm into mine without asking. I didn't flinch. Outside, life moved on like it always does. Cars passed. People laughed. Somewhere, someone complained about the cold like it was the worst thing in the world. Elena leaned closer. It's cold, she said softly. Can you lend me that blanket again? I shifted it around both of us. She stepped into the warmth, into my space, into something neither of us had planned. Yeah, I said. I've got you. And for the first time in a long time, I meant it without looking over my shoulder.